Week 13 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few kickers I look to drop this week. The first guy, Will Lutz of the New Orleans Saints. So Will Lutz, he got off to a good start in the middle weeks of the season, but the last few weeks here, we haven't seen much from him. Week 9 versus Baltimore 7, Week 10 at Pittsburgh 5, Week 11 versus the Rams 9, and then Week 12 at San Francisco 0. So right here, this offense, it's having trouble this season scoring the football. I know they had a couple decent matchups where they got in the red zone and made some plays. But right here, Week 13, another tough matchup with Tampa Bay. Up the fourth least amount of fantasy points to kickers on the season. So right here, Will Lutz really isn't getting the job done the last few weeks here. Not really his fault, but there's better kicker options out there. And he's a kicker to drop this week with a low-powered offense and a team that has a tough matchup and then a bye in Week 14. The next guy's Matt Gay of the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know how this Ram team is going to generate any offense anymore for the remainder of the season. Right here, Matthew Stafford's hurt, Cooper Kupp's hurt, Allen Robinson's out for the season, Darrell Henderson they cut, offensive line's banged up, and right now Matt Gay, he's not going to get many opportunities, I believe, here at the kicking position, even though the last few weeks he's been serviceable. Week 10 versus Arizona 5, Week 11 in New Orleans 10, and Week 12 at the Chiefs 5, but right now, with all the factors like I mentioned, and a tough matchup, Week 13 versus Seattle, that gives up the fifth least amount of fantasy points to kickers on the season. I'd rather go out there and get a guy like a right on the Pittsburgh Steelers to my kicker position. Chase McLaughlin, I'd rather have where these guys are at least going to get opportunities and on not the greatest offenses, but obviously better offenses than this banged-up Ram offense. So Gay is a kicker I would drop this week, and the third and final kicker I look to drop Matt Prater of the Arizona Cardinals. So Matt Prater, we haven't seen much from him this season, but a lot of people obviously still like him in fantasy circles. But this offense has been a mess for the most part as well, with a lot of injuries and inconsistent play from Kyler Murray this season in Arizona, and another lost season for them now, losing the last 4 out of 5 ball games. So the last few games here for Prater, Week 10 at the Rams 0, Week 11 versus San Francisco 5, and Week 12 versus the Chargers 7. So right here, Week 13, it's a bye week. And he's a guy, obviously, I'm not going to stash on my roster. And like I said, he really hasn't done much this season. So it's a no-brainer to drop him this week. So that's a few kickers I look to drop here for Week 13 of the fantasy football season.